Hey everyone, Alan Bauer here in Bay City, Michigan. And tonight I have maybe a little bit shocking title for you, but I'm calling for a crusade today, or a revolution, if you will. And let me explain. So let's go back. Some of you may or may not know of a guy named Art Williams before. So Art Williams, when he was younger, his father passed away, and his dad had a whole life policy that he'd taken out on himself. And when his dad passed away, his mom got the check for the whole life policy. But Art realized that they were really underinsured. It wasn't enough money to let them maintain their standard of living. So the family had to go through financial hardships. Fast forward 5 years later, he runs into a cousin of his, and he started working at, talking to his cousin, and his cousin told him about term insurance. And Art's like, how come I never heard of this before? So his cousin explained to him, and then Art went on to learn about term insurance, and he really found it disturbing. I mean, just inside, he was just tore up that insurance agent that sold that policy to his dad didn't sell him a term policy, because had he sold him a term policy for that same amount of money, they would have had a lot more life insurance and the family would have been set financially. So Art learned from that tragedy that happened with his dad passing away and them being underinsured. It really motivated him, and later he went on to start his own company. So Art started his own insurance company eventually. It was called A.L. Williams, and he created the concept of buy term and invest the difference. So instead of the typical middle class family, all the insurance agents sold back then were these small whole life policies, basically a burial policy, maybe enough to put somebody in the ground, and that was about it. So what Art did is he took that same money that somebody would normally spend on that policy and said, hey, why don't we buy term insurance, get you enough coverage for your family, and the money that, even though we get you higher coverage, you're still saving some money, there's some money left over, let's go ahead and invest that into something like a mutual fund, into an IRA, individual retirement account. And what he learned was he showed the typical middle class Americans that if you do this, if you die, you're going to have more money because you have more life insurance. If you live, your investment account goes up, and you're going to have more money that way too if you live. So it was a win-win situation for the middle class consumer, and it actually propelled Art Williams, his company A.L. Williams, which many of you may have heard the company Primerica, which is what the company evolved in today. So, and Primerica is actually the number one seller of life insurance to middle class Americans in the U.S. So, I mean, that simple concept. And what Art did when he did this, he was very passionate about this inside, because he felt like, his family got screwed over. And he wanted to make sure that would never happen to anybody else. And he was on a mission. He started a crusade. Him and a bunch of other people, I think it was 87 people, if I remember right. Somebody correct me if my memory's wrong on that. But it was like Art and 87 people started A.L. Williams with the concept of buy term and invest the difference. And he went on to change the entire insurance industry, because the entire insurance industry before that, all they sold was whole life, because they got more money and they had less risk because they didn't have to pay out that high of a claim if somebody died. So by Art really started taking over the market, and he dominated the market. In fact, they're still number one seller of term insurance in the U.S. To the middle class. So when you look at that, they sell more life insurance policies than any other insurance company out there. So he had a crusade. He was on a mission to do the right thing for the consumer, and it made his company number one, and it's still number one today. So what I look at, we're at the same situation right here now in the CBD industry. Now, the CBD didn't start to be legal until 2014. I mean, it's brand new. And, back then, 2014, just about everybody still thought it was illegal. Like, oh my gosh, you're selling marijuana. It's like, even though it couldn't get you high or anything, it just had health benefits. that go with it. Uh, you couldn't get high. I mean, you could drink a whole bottle. You're not going to get a buzz off the thing. But people still had that stigmatism about it. Now, fast forward today to 2020, everybody and their brother's out there selling it. And there's a bunch of junk out there that's being sold, but there is some good quality CBD. But with CTFO, we've actually came out with the 10X Pure formula, and CTFO actually owns part of the company, part of the 10X Pure. So it's exclusive. It's a patented product. Nobody else has it. And you can look at all the things, you look on Google and you just Google CBDA and you're going to see things on Google, and I'm not making any claims or anything here, but you're going to find things about pain and inflammation, how it's a big anti-inflammatory. You're going to see studies that they did on rodents, and again, these weren't on humans, so don't take anything as medical advice here, but there's some things where they found that, the CBD, they've even done initial test, and you can look this up on Google, on certain types of breast cancer. They found it to be a great anti-nausea for like cancer patients that are taking going through chemo and everything. It's one of the best anti-nausea things out there. So there's a lot of this stuff is very limited studies, because everything was illegal before. You couldn't really study it. So they're getting into a lot of the scientific studies, or there's a lot of studies over in Israel that was done too on this. So there's a lot of benefits. And in fact, the one doctor was saying that CBDA is 1,000 times better than CBD. And from personal experience, I've tried our full spectrum CBD products before, and they were great. I really helped me out with my issues that I had. And then we came out with the 10X Pure, and it had a little bit of CBD in there, CBDA, I mean. And I felt the difference in that, and it was much better. And then when we came out with this 10X Pure Gold Super 1000, and then the roll-on, with the Super 1000 has 300 milligrams of CBDA in it. Out of the 1000 of CBD, 300, actually on the lab test it shows 378 milligrams of CBDA. It was like night and day. I mean, this thing just blows CBD away. I would never go back to regular CBD after taking this. And it's so good. In fact, it's cheaper than our 10X Pure 1500. And I know some people may have different opinions on what's better, this and that, but go out there, read the studies. There's a rocket scientist out there too. I've done some, I did a video and stuff on the articles that she wrote. She's actually a NASA rocket scientist, and in her spare time, she loves to go through all these PubMeds and take all these scientific studies. This is like a fun thing for her to do. I mean, she's like super, super smart. And she breaks it down into easy to understand terms. Well, she did this article on Leafly about CBDA, and it just blew me away. All the promises and things that are happening here, and then to find out like CTFO is the only one with a patent on this. So we're sitting right here, and there's a lot of reps that I talk to. They're like, well, everybody has CBD. How do I sell it? I can't sell it. This is why we need a crusade. We need to get out there and we need to preach that CBDA is better than CBD. And there's documentation. Go right on your website. Right on the self-replicated website, there's a 3-minute video by Dr. Stephen Trobiani that explains it perfectly. All you have to do is share that link with people. Just like Art Williams did with Buy Term and Invest the Difference. He went out to all these people that had these whole life policies. He took the same money that they're already spending and he said, hey, why don't we get you some more life insurance? Instead of having only this much life insurance, let's have this much. You're still going to save some money, but instead of, just pocketing that money, let's invest this now. So we're going to take care of you and your family in case something happens to you, and God forbid you die. They're going to have a lot more money, and they're going to be able to maintain their standard of living. And if you live, you're going to have a lot more money because, you got those investments that went up. This is the same thing with the CBDA and the CBD. We need to be out there telling people how great this is, why it's better than CBD, because you got like thousands of companies, literally thousands. There's new ones popping up. There's new network marketing companies. I just saw somebody in a group Ooh, new opportunity. You know, it's like, come on, do we really need one more? You got, I don't know, a few thousand now, a few thousand companies selling this, and everybody's popping up with a brand new opportunity and the big hype about theirs is the purest, blah, blah, blah. Most of these companies out there, all they are doing is white labeling the same exact product. In fact, there was a recall by the FDA on one, and they had to go out. The company didn't like sell it itself. It sold it to like 885 companies. They had to notify 885 companies to do a recall. So what does that tell you? These 885 companies that are competing against each other, they got the same exact product inside the bottle. The only thing different is the label they slap on it. Company A has the same product, and then company B, and 885 companies all proclaiming they have the best thing out there. But I'll tell you what nobody has. Nobody has CBDA. And the reason they don't, there's another video that David Arcangelo did with this other doctor from Israel. He's kind of known as the godfather of weed. I was looking up more into him. He's a very cool guy. He's been into this since, the 1960s. He's been studying this. And they came up with CBD. They studied the benefits of CBD here, CBDA. And this doctor says that it's 1,000 times better than CBD. So if we know this is 1,000 times better, and there are a couple companies that come out and they say, hey, we have some CBDA in our product. They have like maybe 1 to 3 milligrams at the most. And like Dr. Trobiani said, the problem is even if they have that 1 to 3 milligrams of CBDA in the bottle, he cannot guarantee by the time it ships from the factory, gets on the truck, gets to your mailbox, you open that bottle and take it, that there's still any CBDA in there. Why? Because it breaks down. CBDA is unstable, and as soon as sunlight hits it or heat, it busts down and it turns into CBD. So you could be paying extra money from these other companies to only get 1 to 3 milligrams. With CTFO, you've got 300 milligrams, actually 378 on the lab test. We have 600 times more CBDA than any other competitor, and the cool thing is ours is actually, we've learned how to stabilize it with that 10x Pure oil. 10x Pure stabilizes it. It strips that oily membrane off the CBD molecule, keeps the CBDA molecule also whole, and it allows it for better absorption into the body. So it's going to make it all the way from that factory in your bottle, and even sitting there the whole month that you're taking. I take mine twice a day. I take it in the morning, I take it in the evening. As soon as I get off here, I'm going to take my evening one. And I take half a milliliter. It's got the little marking on the bottle. I take half a milliliter 2 times a day, morning and evening, hold it under my tongue for about 2 minutes, and then I swallow it, and I go through a bottle a month. And I'm not into this, I'm going to do 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops. I do the full thing, so I go through a bottle in a month, and I'll tell you what, it really benefits me. Benefits me a lot, and nobody else has this. Nobody. So sometimes people look at the price, it's like, well, I can get something in the gas station for $5. Okay, but is it going to work? Do you want cheap junk, or do you want something that really, really works? No matter what issue somebody has going on, my number one to go to is the Super 1000 enriched with the CBDA. Why? Because it actually works. If this doesn't work on them, there's nothing out there that is. So if the CBDA doesn't work, the regular CBD everybody else is selling doesn't work either. And our company sells CBD, just plain CBD also, the full spectrum CBD. We sell the isolate. I get it. There's a need for it. Some people are still going to use it. But we really need to be on this crusade and out there telling people about it. This is what we have different. This is huge. You look at Art Williams, he took a new concept by term. He was the only one selling it at the time and Invest a Difference. Everybody else was selling whole life. Art Williams is selling the term. He turned into a number one company. We're sitting right at the same point with CTFO. We have a patented product. See, those other insurance companies out there, they could do term insurance, and they all are today. Look how many term insurance companies are out there. But Primerica was the primary mover in that market with the buy term and invest a difference. That's why they're number one today. Today, CTFO is the prime mover with the CBDA. Even though that doctor out in Israel, they finally, the doctors and scientists finally found out how to stabilize CBDA, but only by doing it with a chemical. They managed to stabilize it synthetically. At CTFO, with our 10x pure oil, we found a way to stabilize it naturally. So you're going to see big things coming out with these drug companies, just like GW Pharma, how they came out with their version of CBD, and it's a very strong one used for specific seizures and things like that in people. And they're going to start doing some really cool things with the CBDA, but it's going to be synthetic, and they're going to have patents on all this, just like we have the patent on the natural process. That is huge. I would rather take something natural than something synthetic. Would you rather have something made by God or, man trying to duplicate that? I mean, everything in nature, there's things nature has what we need. So we have the CBDA. We need to have this crusade going. You need to be out there sharing it with everybody. And I don't understand why some people are afraid to do this. Because if you see a good movie or something, what do? You tell your friends about it. It's like, well, I'm afraid to tell my friends I saw this movie that was really good at the theater. That's ridiculous, It's just like if you found something that's really working and it's helping with your symptoms, why don't you want to tell your friends about it? I mean, I want my friends to have the same results that I did. So I get excited about it and I tell them. Whether they want to do anything or not, that's on them. My job is just to let them know. I'm not going to hard sell them. I'm not, it's up to them. I just let them know. And some of them come back around on their own accord, and that's okay. And some people will never do it. Just like Primerica, they don't sell every single term policy out there. Other companies are doing that. They're not going to get everybody. Though we have this patented product and it's 1,000 times better, CBDA is 1,000 times better than CBD, and we have 600 times more CBDA than any other company out there, and ours is guaranteed to actually get there to your house and into your body, into the target area. The other companies, there's no guarantee. We have zero competition when it comes to this. The only competition we have is people don't know. People don't know what they don't know, and it's our job just to share that with them. And it's nothing complicated. You don't need all these fancy sales skills. We don't need to be salespeople. You just like you refer a movie or a good restaurant, like, hey, I went to this new restaurant that opened in Bay City, and oh my gosh, they had the best Greek salad there, I tell people that. I post it on Facebook. Do I get anything out of that? No. But I'm sharing my experience. And then some other friends are like, oh yeah, we went there too. We had this. It's the same thing with this. Just share your experience. You got to use the product, get the results from it. You're going to love it. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Is it going to work on everybody? No. There's a small percent of people it doesn't work on. Or maybe you have something so serious you really need to go to the doctor for it because all the CBD and CBDA in the world isn't going to fix it. So anyway, I've talked long enough on here, so let's get together. I want to hear some people say that they want to be in this crusade to go out and start letting people know about CBDA, because this is what it's all about. People just don't know. Post in some of these Facebook groups. People don't have a clue of what CBDA is. It's going to be huge, I'm telling you. Within a year, a lot of people are going to start knowing. Within about 3-4 years, everybody's going to know about it. And then there's going to be the big, we're 3 years ahead of the competition right now. Nobody else has a patent on this thing. They can't make it. They can't stabilize it to put in the bottle. We have like the goose that laid the golden egg. All you have to do is go out there and sell this goose to people. And it's going to lay the golden eggs for them. It's going to give them a lot better benefits. Why would you want your friends and family to use this inferior stuff? And I don't really mean like it's inferior, but compared to CBDA, it's inferior. So I'm just going to call it like it is. I mean, if you have a top shelf, high quality product, it's 1,000 times better. Go out and tell them about it. Share it. Just share the link. Say, hey, just watch this 3-minute video. Tell me what you think. That's it. everybody can take 3 minutes out of their life. So anyway, that's all I wanted to let you know. We really need to start a crusade, and we need to revolutionize the CBD industry and change it, because we are the only company out there that has this only patented product with the CBDa to be able to do it. That's all I got. Thanks.